All right. Welcome back to the Malapert Smark Podcast. I am the Malapert Smark, I guess. I've adopted the moniker of this podcast because somebody had to. So we are back. We've just had a 2-week hiatus. I needed it for my mental health, I guess, because I've been on a roll with this podcast, doing like a show basically every week since we started over a year ago. But man, just like a lot of YouTubers say, you know, they talk about. I see posts all the time from YouTube channels that I'm subscribed to about these guys saying how they're so burnt out, you know, they're stressed out, they're tired. It's just nonstop work. And yeah, it is. Honestly, as a YouTuber, I can call myself now for a year. It's really stressful. It takes a lot of freaking time and energy. And I have a job, honestly. And I have a life, and I have things to do. But I've tried to squeeze this in because I love the wrestling. I love the wrestling so much, man. So much. But listen, I got to introduce my co-host today. Vlad, the wrestling expert, is here. Thank you again for being with us. You are the longest running... Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. You're the longest running panelist, I guess I can call it, you know, guest that I've had on this show. You've been here since the very first episode, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you for being on.
No problem, man. Anytime.
All right. We also have Robert. He's supposed to be here, but he's running a little late, so we're just going to start the show anyways, and whenever he jumps in, he'll be welcome to join the show wherever we're talking about. But yeah, it's been a tough week for me, man. I guess I thought I would come back from my vacation with gusto and, you know, ready to go again with another podcast, but I've had a rough day. I've had car troubles, you know, I haven't had time. Man, last night my car broke down in the parking lot, the parking structure at the mall on the 8th floor, like somewhere where I couldn't get towed out of, and my radiator completely blew and the freaking coolant was everywhere. It was a disaster, man. And we were there for 5 hours waiting for help, sitting with I called one of my friends, and they brought a mechanic, and they literally had to do it right there because there was no way to get out. So they had to try to fix the car so I could drive out of there. And the whole time the meter's running. You know how when you park in those parking structures, it's like by the hour. So by the end, it was like $50 or something.
Oh my god! They don't max it out like on the daily or something It just keeps going.
I don't know what the hell happened there, but whatever. Anyways,
that's insane.
I'm struggling, as they say. I haven't had a car. I'm going to work now, trying to find ways to get to work. So, man, I'm at one of those low points in my life, man. I'm fucking flat, fucking broke. And this podcast hasn't made me one goddamn penny of all the views that we've gotten on YouTube, which is fine. I mean, we do this for the love of it. If money came from it, that would be great. But obviously, who doesn't love money? It's not that I even love money, man. It's just that we need money. We need money so bad just to do anything on this earth. To do anything, you need money. Without money, you're like basically worthless. You're stuck. You can't do anything. So, man, I'm on the brink of asking for donations, dude. Literally. I'm about to start asking our audience, like, hey, man, I need money, man. Please send me $1 to my Zelle or something. Like, shit. But I'm not going to do that, all right? I'm right now at this point, even though I'm desperate, I am not going to ask my loyal Malapert Smark audience for money, okay? I'll fucking go to work. I got a couple extra shifts this week. I got a double shift next Sunday. I'm going to work all day. I'll pull myself out of this fucking hole. But anyways, whatever. And all that being said, we're here to talk about wrestling. Sorry about this long opening monologue, but if you guys want to skip to us talking about the wrestling, just look at the bottom, whatever, on the scrolling thing right there, and I'll make bookmarks for you. You guys can skip this whole intro diatribe, whatever. Just listen to whatever topics you want. And we're here to talk about the last week of wrestling. We usually do on our podcast a whole week. We discuss everything from Monday through Sunday for one calendar week. And that's been the name of our shows lately. This week in WWE and AEW, and then the dates, which is kind of a lame title. But we're still going to be doing that. We're still going to go week by week. So we're going to talk about the past week. But I gave this episode a more specific title. It's called CM Punk completely fucks Drew McIntyre at Money in the Bank. And I watched this show this morning because I was stuck with car troubles last night, so I didn't see it live. And I didn't catch any spoilers, but
that's good.
We will talk about the CM Punk Drew McIntyre stuff as I've advertised in the thumbnail. So for those of you who are thinking this is clickbait and us just, stalling for time, yes, it is. Motherfucker. But anyways, no, you can skip to us talking about Punk and Drew McIntyre if that's all you want to hear. It's somewhere in the timeline of the video. I'll put a bookmark for it, so if you want to skip over there, go ahead. I'm not going to be like Jim Cornette and make it difficult to find out where the good stuff is on his podcast. So if you want to skip our opening monologue, go ahead and skip it. But anyways, on top of that, another announcement I'd like to make, Vlad, and this pertains to you also, is that since I've been working more and now I have a girlfriend and stuff, and I can't really spend as much time as I have on this podcast, but I still want it to keep going. I don't want the Malapert Smark Podcast to die. But one thing that I do that takes a lot of time on this show, which some podcasts do, some podcasts don't, but I actually do a lot of heavy editing on us, if we're like thinking or stuttering, or, and I think I'm gonna let go of that starting right now. Whatever we do, however we sound, it's just gonna go up like that, okay? And I think that's how a podcast should be. I don't think podcasts should really be heavily edited by an editor, because these are just one-day things. Like, someone's gonna listen to this for a day, and that's it. It's gone. So it's not really like a masterpiece. It's not supposed to be like, a music album or a song or something that you really need to make perfect. Whatever. We're going to stutter. We're humans. Sometimes we have brain farts. Sometimes in the middle of what I'm saying, I forget what the fuck I'm talking about. I mean, I'm really tired, a lot of the times.
I'm with you.
Yeah, so whatever, forgive us. But anyways, this is free content. There's not even any commercials. You listen to these other podcasts, you got to listen to like 5 minutes of content, and then for 10 minutes they give you a commercial about fucking Magic Spoon or something, which we used to do parody commercials on this show in the beginning. I don't know if anybody got that, but we were trying to make fun of how these other podcasts are so advertisement heavy, and so with such stupid advertisements. But anyways, for right now, while we're not making any money, this show is completely ad-free and completely free. So it's free content, and if you don't like the content, then go fuck yourself, honestly. Go fucking watch something else, or go listen to something else. It's fucking free, honestly. So go to hell. Anyways, so we've had a week of wrestling to talk about. I want to wait till Robert comes in to talk about the CM Punk stuff and Drew McIntyre stuff, because I think he's gonna pop in on us any minute. But let's start with let's start with another topic. All right, let's go with the Bloodline feuding with the WWE Babyface Superstars trio of Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and KO. And they had a match at the Money in the Bank, which was yesterday as we speak. We're recording this on Sunday night. So yesterday was Money in the Bank. It was a very exciting pay-per-view, a lot of surprises. And the main event was Solo Sikoa's Bloodline, Solo's Bloodline.
Yeah.
Again, and he has, whatever his family members that he recruited. So on this night, it was Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu, and they had and they had Tonga Loa on the sidelines to help them out, I guess, if needed. And then the other side was Cody Rhodes, the undisputed WWE champion, and legendary Randy Orton, and KO as well, Kevin Owens. And Solo's team went over. They won, big win, and they treat it seriously, like they wanted to win the match. To them, winning was important. They talk about how winning is important, and Solo talks about people taking money out of their children's mouths and food out of their children's mouths and such. So they took it seriously, and they won the match, and they beat them. So let's get a review from Vlad, the wrestling expert, for the match. I'm not going to show any videos today. I didn't have time to cut anything out, but we're just talking freestyle here. What did you think of that match? Do you have like a thumbs up or thumbs down review for it?
I mean, it was a good. Yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up. One thumbs up for the match. It was good.
A regular thumbs up. Of course. Sorry, let me interrupt you, Vlad. We do have a rating system for the Malapert Smark Podcast. Now we have our own rating system. It's not the 5-star rating system that's so popular in wrestling. But I put it in the description below. I'll copy and paste. It's basically thumbs up or 2 thumbs up if you like something, and then thumbs down or 2 thumbs down, and then we have like side thumb or no thumb if you're indifferent, basically. Oh, and then there's the Orange Cassidy, you know, if you kind of like it. All right, so that's how I ask my panelists for their review. All right, so you give this one, I'll call it a regular thumbs up, not a 2 thumbs up, but a regular thumbs up. All right, cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a good match. I was surprised somewhat, I guess, that the heels went over like they did, like pretty clean. Like there was some interference from the infamous Tangaloa, but for the most part, it was pretty clean. Like they won. It was like a kind of a chaotic match, like you would expect. The 6-man with kind of like a feud like this, where they've already kind of fought all over the arena on a SmackDown and whatnot. So I was just surprised, I guess, but the match itself, the work was solid. Like you can't really, nobody, as we have said, or we have said in some of our reviews, no one made the business embarrassing. No one exposed anything. It was good work all the way across the board. I was just a little surprised about the finish and how the heels won clean. Pretty much to me, I mean, I thought they won fairly clean and pretty convincingly too. But I think it's for a grander purpose. Like I think they're really trying to get a possibility of Solo and Cody to be some sort of big match that could happen one-on-one. By the way, Jacob Fatu, though, I gotta say, he's fantastic. That guy is tremendous. Love watching him. He's better than even I thought. You know, he has a great look. He can work, and he looks menacing. He looks totally menacing, which is exactly what they needed for this new group that Solo has around him. But I also was curious what they plan to do, like when they plan to bring Roman back, how they're planning to do with that. Because obviously the plan is to bring Roman back because of the stuff that just happened with Paul, right? They put Paul through the table, they beat him up. You know, what's going to happen there? You know, I thought for SummerSlam they could bring him back, but I don't know if that's in the plans or if that's still if they still will bring him back or if they're saving him for another time. Nobody really knows, but for some reason I had a feeling or I had a thought that he'd somehow appear as the show kind of closed. But okay, I was wrong there. But otherwise, thumbs up for the match, thumbs up for the feud, everything going well here. So yeah.
Yeah, I also will give that match a thumbs up. I liked it. I'm saving my 2 thumbs up, for things I really, really like in wrestling. Yeah. So I don't want to break the scale. I don't want to say this is 2 thumbs up and then have to say, oh, this is 3 thumbs up now. So no, I'm going to say which is a very good score to me. So yes, I also think the booking was good because if there's ever a time to let Solo beat Cody, why not in a 6-man?
No, yeah, of course.
And it's a good time for the new Bloodline guys to really get over because them winning this match against Cody, Orton, and KO, that literally puts them as good as anybody. They're like as good as anybody in the company. So it was a good way to push them straight to the top immediately when they got there. And another thing I want to say about Solo, man, we've thrown it around before that my theory was that this new Bloodline is led by The Rock, giving instructions, pulling strings from behind. But I really hope that they don't reveal that that's the case. Because if they don't, like if The Rock isn't behind this, it would be so cool that Solo is like going off on his own and just like taking over. He's like, Roman's not coming back. I haven't talked to him. I'm taking over now. So it would be really fucking cool if this is all Solo's idea. That's my dream. I hope so. I don't know. I think it's yet to be determined or yet to be revealed if The Rock is involved in this somehow. I haven't heard anybody say that. That's kind of like a theory that I've been really pushing. But anyways, I'm just saying that if it is Solo pulling all these strings and making all these decisions on his own, I think it's freaking hilarious, and I think it's great, and I think it's so badass. So that's all I got to say about this so far. But
he's looked, just that Solo's looked great. I mean, he's done. I think you asked me a couple of times, is he believable in this role? In past shows, if he's believable in this role, how is he doing? I mean, he's doing great. He's very believable. It's all working out quite well. Credit to him. Credit to the booking. Everything to do with this angle post WrestleMania has been almost perfect, I would say.
All right, let me move along. I do have a couple topics that I really have advertised that I was going to talk about on social media and on YouTube, the CM Punk stuff and the MJF heel turn, Daniel Garcia. But I am hoping Robert pops in on us, so I'm going to do one more topic real quick.
Yeah, sure.
And give him a chance to. Otherwise, we'll just jump to those topics. So, I want to talk about the Wyatt 6, as they're called, and we have been on a 2-week hiatus. So we missed their debut, set, but we did review it. You know, we had some quotes from you. I asked you for some texts, and I posted them on Twitter and on the YouTube posts. By the way, if there's any topics that we don't talk about or we don't have time to talk about on this show, you can check out our YouTube community posts, and we try to review everything on there that happens on Raw, SmackDown, and Dynamite, and at least give thumbs up, thumbs down reviews from our panelists. So keep an eye out for that. But for today, I do want to talk about this Wyatt 6 segment from this past Monday. It was July 1st, 2024, Monday Night Raw, and basically, Gable and Jey Uso were out there talking about their Money in the Bank match and jaw-jacking at each other. And the Wyatt 6 show up and do this dramatic, freak everyone out type of thing. They didn't really attack Gable or anything. They just kind of showed themselves. And Gable freaked out and ran away. And then I guess Nikki Cross, we haven't really been revealed that it's Nikki Cross, but everyone in the know thinks it's Nikki Cross. So she walks up and gave another VHS tape to Michael Cole, and they played that later, and it was another therapy session with Bo Dallas, Bray Wyatt's brother, and his alter ego Uncle Howdy. So they did the same thing the previous week. But anyways, I do want to just review this segment for this week, and then I'll get an overall thoughts on the whole gimmick and the whole angle so far for the past 3 weeks. So this past Monday, I'll just go with that one. I don't give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, probably somewhere in the middle, just because I don't think it was as interesting as the week before when Bo Dallas was talking about his brother and how much it fucking affected him that he died. So that was really cool. This week, you know, the major quote he gave was, what did he say? He said, "We are the ones they wanted to forget, and now we made them notice us." And I'm like, okay, so they beat up Chad Gable and a bunch of other guys in the back and left them bloodied and stuff. Did that really make everyone notice them? I don't know. I think.
Well, yes. Everybody was talking about that.
But then they haven't done anything since except kind of scare people or try to scare people. I don't know. For this segment, I'm not giving it a thumbs up. This past Monday, I thought it was a little weak. The ones before it, me and Robert liked it in our reviews on the social media that we gave. We said that we liked the angle start at the beginning. You didn't really like it at all anyways. So anyways, let me get a review from you for this past Monday and then talk about the Wyatt 6 in general, since we haven't gotten any thoughts from you since we've gone on hiatus for the past 2 weeks. Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you. I think it's, I would say it's probably a no, what is it?
Indifferent. You're
indifferent. Yeah.
Thumbs to the side. Thumbs to the side.
Yeah, okay. I'm kind of.
But why do you give this one an indifferent when a couple weeks ago in their debut you gave it 2 thumbs down and you hated it?
Because that's just ridiculous, bro. I mean, murdered bodies in the back. It's stupid. It's not real. I mean, forget. I mean, you can't even. I mean, if we're doing a horror show, okay. If we're watching a horror movie, sure, great. That was great, but not in wrestling. It doesn't work. It's not, the gimmick itself is fine to be spooky. There are plenty of spooky gimmicks in the history of wrestling, but when you lose all realism, when you have murdered bodies laying in the ring or on the outside and all this craziness and smoke machines going off and all this craziness, you can't lose yourself in that because it's just too stupid for you to do that, and that's my thing. And the other problem is, like, where does the gimmick go? Like, where do you go? Like, are they gonna win like all these matches? Are they gonna be able to compete in I don't like. They're like serial killer family. They're a serial killer family of some sort, I guess, is their gimmick. Where do you go with that? Where do you go with that gimmick? I don't.
So are you saying like it's weird that there's a group of guys out there who are really literally murdering people? Like, it's against the law. Like, this is beyond wrestling. It's not realistic because these people would go to jail if this was the case, like, for real, I guess.
Well,
but wrestling is always like that. What's the difference between that and someone just doing a backstage attack and just fucking, blindsiding someone?
This attack is different than literally dead bodies laying on the outside.
They're not dead. Nobody died. There was no report that anyone died in that segment. But yes, they were unconscious,
dead,
bloodied.
All outside of Chad Gable, everybody looked dead. And why do they hate Chad Gable so much? Is it because he has been such a prick to his own group? Is that why they're attacking him? Or?
Yeah, maybe they're like Jigsaw. Like, they've been watching you and they want to teach you a lesson or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know why specifically Chad Gable is the brunt of their.
You're right, though. You're right. Where does it go? But Bray Wyatt also had this thing where he was like a creepy superpower type of guy, and he would just take clean losses. Like, he lost to Goldberg. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So where does it go? Are they going to win all the time? I don't think necessarily they have to win all the time. So, like, they could AEW it and just have them lose and then ignore it and let them come back the next day and still act like they're over, I guess.
Still be spooky. Woo.
Yes.
Okay. No, I think, look, Bray Wyatt, obviously they're doing this in his memory and his honor, and I'm all for that. I understand. He was a very creative guy. He had a lot of interesting thoughts. I just don't think a lot of it was really great wrestling, in a sense. It was good visuals, and it was great to do during the pandemic specifically, where they couldn't really put on full shows in front of people. But once they came back and all that stuff, I mean, his last run before, the guy is dead. I don't want to talk bad about the dead, but it wasn't really great. And we talked about how it wasn't really going anywhere at all. So again, I understand the premise of it. I understand why they're doing it. They want to honor him. His brother specifically wants to honor him. His friends in the business that are also in this group, like Aaron Rowan and a couple others, I'm sure they want to honor him. But at the same time,
Eric Rowan. But yes.
Yeah. I thought I said Eric. Okay, I might have said. Did I say Aaron Rowan? Whatever I said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, but no. The point is, I guess the point I was making is that what do you do with this? I don't understand where it could all possibly go. And I know there's people that love it and say like, "Oh, it's so creative and it's interesting," but in reality, like, it's just not made to be like in wrestling. Yes, it's the visuals were interesting. It was interesting to see how they like came to be, and the videotape stuff was kind of creepy type of thing. But I just don't see the longevity of such a thing, like this type of group or this type of gimmick, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, if they put them over, I think it's fine. Like you were saying earlier, or like I was saying, if they are all creepy and act like they're hard, and then they lose matches, then they start to lose credibility. You have to put them over if you're going to make them this cool, I guess. So, yes, that remains to be seen. I don't know, but I kind of have a feeling like they want to respect the legacy of Bray, and Triple H might give this like a coherent push and let them actually get. I don't know how far that goes. Is Uncle Howdy going to win the world heavyweight title, or
Oh God! Oh no! Let him. Oh man! I hope.
But he does look a lot like Bray Wyatt. That's the weird thing, though. Like, if they wanted to make him the Fiend, he could probably pull it off, but that's in bad taste. But I'm just saying, like, when you see him in those VHS tapes, he looks exactly like Bray Wyatt, especially with the beard that he's grown out. It's very strange. But okay, I'm gonna move on. But it's 10:37. Robert's not here yet. We're gonna move on. Let's just do the MJF stuff while we can.
Sorry, Robert.
Yeah, I wanted him here for this conversation, but okay, we'll try to get some quotes from him maybe that we could put on social media or on our YouTube posts. Watch out for that. We've been reviewing shows on YouTube posts, just quick reviews, thumbs up, thumbs down for different angles from WWE and AEW. So if there's anything we didn't talk about on the show, check over there. If you're bored, you can read some of our reviews over there. So let's go to Dynamite and AEW. So during our review of Forbidden Door, I put a note on my post saying Vlad, didn't really watch most of it, and he's been down on AEW. Obviously, that's not new. It's been for a while, but we're all just waiting for the point where, when is this gonna get to the point where we're just gonna give up on this show? You know what I mean? And I put a note there saying we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna have a serious discussion about whether we're gonna talk about AEW in the coming future, because really we spent a lot of time on it. It doesn't get us a lot of views. We could do classic wrestling. We could do classic WCW or WWF and get 20 times more views. Like at least 1,000. We get 1,000, 2,000 videos for like 2,000 views for old school Ric Flair promos, reviewing WCW, and we'll talk about AEW for a good while, and people just aren't interested in it. No one's watching it. It's not getting good ratings, and the show is suffering creatively. So everyone has been saying that MJF is their only hope. He's their only literally legit star, legit worker. He's really good. Yes. But they turned him face last year and they ruined him. They turned him into a good guy.
Yes.
And that whole Adam Cole thing, and everyone's just waiting for him to turn back. And it finally happened this past Monday. So real quick, I'll explain how it happened. I mean, if you guys hadn't seen it yet, you shouldn't be watching our show. You should be going back to try to find some clips from Dynamite, probably on their YouTube page, I'm guessing. But yeah, so Daniel Garcia has been getting a big push lately, and he was finally getting his big international title shot against Will Ospreay. They were making a big deal out of it. And MJF at the beginning of the show offered to be in his corner, a lot like he was in Cody Rhodes' corner back in the beginning of AEW. So Daniel Garcia accepted. He's like, yeah, I could use some help in the corner, some support. MJF tried to help him in the match, passed him the diamond ring, and Daniel Garcia didn't want to use it, or he hesitated, and that led to Ospreay hitting him with his finisher and then losing the match. And then post-match, MJF tried to console Daniel Garcia, right? And instead, he low-blowed him just like he did to Cody Rhodes and beat the living hell out of him. And security tried to come and stop him, and he beat the hell out of them too. And then I think Daddy Magic came out too, and to protect his son Daniel Garcia, he got beat up too. And Christopher Daniels, the de facto general manager, I guess, right now, came out, yelled at MJF for killing Daniel Garcia basically, and he left him bludgeoned and had this crazy psycho look on his face. And the old MJF is back, as we've been crying for since this whole ridiculous good guy MJF thing has happened. But okay, so let's get a review from you for the angle on Dynamite. You want to give it a thumbs up? Do you want to give it 2 thumbs up? What do you think? Or do you not care? Let's see. Let's see what Vlad, the wrestling expert, thinks about
Man, this is a tough one, because obviously I'm a huge MJF fan still, despite how he was used the past, most of 2023. I'm torn because, and you know why I'm torn? Because they turned him heel in an angle kind of with Oscar, but mostly with Daniel Garcia, who I do not like and do not see anything in at all, or at least not a main event talent whatsoever. okay, fine. I will be nice and I'll give it one thumb up, but and I'll give it half. I'll give it half because of Daniel Garcia's involvement. I'm gonna take off at least something. So half a thumbs up or whatever the hell you want to call it, or
Yeah, an Orange Cassidy
Orange
thumbs
Cassidy,
up.
an Orange Cassidy
Yes.
thumbs up. There we go. Thank you. Yes. One of those. One of these. Okay.
Yeah, so break it down for us, Vlad. I mean, look, the heel turn is what we needed. The heel turn is what we wanted. The heel turn is what everyone's saying could save AEW at least to make them watchable for the coming future and not have them completely lose their entire audience. Is that going to get some audience back? Come on. It's MJF. He's back. He's the guy that this is the first 3 years of AEW. He carried them, and it was actually pretty decent. At least his segments.
Sure. I don't know if he can salvage it himself at this point. They're in such a far worse place than they were when he was first getting like really good. They have that feud the money feud. The only thing they have left currently is Ospreay and MJF. And I think that will happen at some point. I don't know if that's going to be in Wembley or not. If that's what they're saving it for, but I don't know if just having MJF be the heel around all these kind of parts that nobody wants to see for the most part is going to be good enough. Like, I'm going to say even he can't save it at this point. Like, it's just so bad.
So you're not excited by this because you're just looking at the whole state of AEW in general.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Because the shows are so bad, how much as good as MJF is, and I will watch the segment. In fact, I listened to his promo on Collision that he cut, which that he was on.
Yes, I did hear that he opened Collision. I didn't get a chance to watch that yet with all my car troubles and such.
And it was the only thing worth watching on Collision, of course. But the thing is, he's only worth watching on Dynamite either, for the most part. So, either way, I don't see him being able to salvage a company by himself with the way the current state of AEW is. And then my other problem with this whole thing is all this work just to kind of push Daniel Garcia. We discussed this kind of, we texted back and forth. I don't see him as a main event talent. I think he could be used in the right spot as a mid-card guy, opening match guy. And I know you said something that kind of, and there's something true to it. There's some truth to it that, they said the same thing about certain guys in WCW. Specifically, I think Eddie Guerrero. Okay, listen. If Daniel Garcia becomes Eddie Guerrero in WWE at some point, everything I said back, and you don't have to. And I'll take away my wrestling expert nickname, but because I just don't see that happening, dude. I really don't. Okay, if Daniel Garcia becomes the next Eddie Guerrero or becomes as over as Eddie Guerrero, I'll take away wrestling expert nickname because I don't deserve it at that point, because that's something I would never see coming.
WWE can get anybody over if they really wanted to, but is he gonna be like respected as a wrestler like Eddie Guerrero and be that kind of superstar, like really lead a company? I mean, okay, so what is our problem with Daniel Garcia? His personality? He doesn't have a personality. He doesn't have a name. He doesn't have a gimmick. Right, which is
just Daniel Garcia, right?
Which is okay. I mean, John Cena is just John Cena, but he sort of has a gimmick. He's got colorful shirts, and Daniel Garcia is just a dude, which is a lot of what AEW is, right? Sure. They're just supposed to be like normal, relatable dudes, I guess. So
yeah.
But okay, so you're saying this is going to be another waste of time, a la Adam Cole. They're going to spend all this time trying to get Daniel Garcia over, and he's really just not going to get over because, unfortunately, he just doesn't have it, according to you.
Look, he can be, like I said, he can be used, and he can be on their TV, and he can put on matches, which I think he is not a bad wrestler. Like some of his work I've seen is okay, but as a main event talent, getting him over, putting him with guys that are kind of over in this company, MJF specifically, Ospreay. I don't know if he's going to work with Swerve. I'm not seeing this as at all. Like I've never seen him that way. I just see him as an indie talent that maybe if he went to NXT and got proper training and stuff like that, maybe something could happen. But in AEW
and a gimmick, maybe you could do with a gimmick. What do you think?
And maybe, yeah, something. It's just the way he talks a lot with his hand, and he does the thing, and he goes over like and all that stuff that he does when he talks. I don't see a main event talent on the mic, and in the ring he's okay, he's good, but that doesn't mean that you should work a program with MJF. That's all I'm saying.
All right, well. Okay, so you're not excited for that. I'll give my review on the match. I'll give it a thumbs up, not 2 thumbs up. I liked seeing the demented look on MJF return. I mean, just the way Daniel Garcia looked so beaten and bludgeoned, and how it was just like a spectacle type of scene. I think it's a memorable scene. Yeah. I think it does give AEW some life, to be honest. I think for a company that was so dead in the water, and for a Forbidden Door that was good, it had some good stuff, but it was they tried. Okay, I'll give it that. They tried. There were some things in there that were entertaining to me, but yeah, it was a little bit of a weak show compared to like past Forbidden Doors that had a little more excitement. This one...
All Forbidden Doors are awful. At least this one, I will say, had the main event that didn't involve some Japanese guy or some guy from CML that we never heard of. It did involve 2 guys that we do know. If you watch
that
AEW.
Swerve Ospreay match saved the show. And the ending I thought was good. Go look out for our review on YouTube posts if you want to go watch that. Check out our community posts, and we do have a full review of that pay-per-view, I guess, on our post, so check that out if you want. But I'm just saying that I think this does breathe some life in them, and it gives them some interest. I think people will be interested to see what happens with MJF as a heel. Daniel Garcia's involved in it, okay, but still, he's going to be involved with Ospreay. All In's coming up. He wants the title. There's going to be some kind of angle for him trying to get the world title back, or he's going to be involved with Ospreay somehow, because Ospreay ran him off to finally stop that Daniel Garcia attack. So it looks like that's going to be there. And I'm just not as down on Daniel Garcia as you are. Just because I don't see him as a main event talent doesn't mean I don't like him. I like the guy, man. Daniel Garcia is a cool dude, so I'm going to watch now.
I'm not saying he's not a cool dude, or he's not a bad, or some. I'm not saying he should be fed to the wolves or something. He's probably a good guy, and I'm sure he'd be fun to hang out with. But I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying.
We can all dance together.
Yeah, I just remember him doing that, and I think it was Don Callis saying, that guy's money. Don't touch that guy. That guy's money. And I'm like, this company's hopeless. Anyways, no, but I wanted to say, so you're saying that because MJF turned heel, you see something now that where AEW as a whole can maybe be better because just from his heel turn.
Hell yes, man. Oh man, this is exactly what we needed. This is literally exactly what everyone's been dying for. Look, it's our only thing. It's the only thing we have is a heel MJF. Give it to us, man. We got nothing else in this company, man. And a babyface MJF, I'm sorry. He can do a babyface thing, but if there was another guy to be the main heel in the company, fine. There isn't. Yeah, there isn't. So it's got to be him. He's got to do this. I'm sorry. He's got to pull it out again.
I agree.
All right.
I mean, I agree that's their only hope, but I don't know how much he can do. I'm curious to see what happens there.
All right. Well, we are 39 minutes into the show, and I've given Robert some time to jump in. I guess he's busy, or maybe have had an emergency. Well,
yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Life happens, I guess.
Yeah, man. You know, if you can't make it to our wrestling podcast, it's all right. Although our millions and millions of YouTube viewers, you know, they're waiting for the frozen Asian and the wrestling expert because you guys are more important than me, to be honest. Without you guys, there would be no show. It would just be me and two black squares talking to myself. But it's okay. All right, so we'll try to get some reviews from Robert, hopefully, that we could post on our YouTube posts. So watch out for that. But for right now, let's get to our main event. It's CM Punk. It's Drew McIntyre. All right, let me just say that when this went down, when I was watching Money in the Bank and I saw Drew come in confidently, hand in the briefcase, like, all right, I'm in, I'm going to win this right now. I didn't think CM Punk was going to be involved. Like, I kind of wasn't expecting that. I wasn't looking for it. You know, he was supposedly out injured from this attack that that Drew McIntyre, bludgeoned him at off camera on a SmackDown a couple weeks back, a scene that was really cool. But he was out since then, so we haven't seen him. So people assumed he would have been injured. He's also injured in reality, in real life, so we didn't think that, you know, we would get anything physical from him, really. But as Drew McIntyre cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase that he literally just won on the same day and entered a triple threat match with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre where they were both down and out. And then CM Punk came in, and I was just like, oh my God, I cannot believe this. I thought they might let Drew McIntyre win the title there so that Punk and McIntyre could fight for the World Heavyweight title at SummerSlam and make it, you know, something heavy, or something worth something with the World Heavyweight title involved. But you know what? I guess looking back on it, it's true. They don't really need the World Heavyweight title involved. This is a good feud regardless. And this was freaking great. But all right, let's also included in this angle, I will mention, and you mentioned this to me in the morning because I didn't know this happened, but on the post show, Drew McIntyre went nuts and was looking for CM Punk, and he went to the what were they have, like a little post match booth or something outside?
Yeah, like a booth. Yeah, where they just like Wade Barrett, Big E, and
yes,
I forgot the lady's name. But anyways, you know, sure somebody.
Yeah, so Drew McIntyre was there, and he was like screaming at the camera, telling Punk, "I know you're in the building. I know you're in the building. Get out here!" And then people were trying to get a control of him, get him to calm down, referee specifically. And then Adam Pearce, the general manager of Raw, came out. He elbowed him in the face. Yes. And that's when it really got serious because Wade Barrett, the former wrestler who's the commentator now, like he grabbed him and said, "Hey man, you got to stop this. You're going to lose your career and everything. You're never going to get to Punk if you." So that was really amazing and realistic looking. They took it very, very seriously, very cool. That's a thumbs up for me. Okay, both of those are 2 thumbs up. I mean, the whole angle, I'll just consider that whole thing one angle, the match and the post-match or whatever. So I'm going to give this a 2 thumbs up, easy, as my review for this. If you want our complete review of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, I will start posting that starting tomorrow. So watch out for that on our YouTube community posts. But for the CM Punk stuff and the Drew McIntyre stuff during the match, during the World Heavyweight title match, and for the post-match, such good wrestling. Such good wrestling. Yes. But yes, let's hear your thoughts on this. Let's get your thumbs ups. How many thumbs up? Because I know it's a thumbs up. And then let's hear your thoughts.
It's definitely a thumbs up. I'm probably going towards 2. My only slight criticism is, okay, so if Drew won the Money in the Bank, I've never kind of understood why. Like, I know it worked one time where Seth Rollins cashed in the middle of a match, like at WrestleMania, with Lesnar and Roman. I don't particularly understand that. Like, wouldn't you wait until both, like, one guy is, like, the winner, let's say, like, the winner is down and he just had his match? Like, why come in during a triple, like, and make it a triple threat match? I didn't particularly like that element of it, you know, for it to make complete sense to me in my head.
If you see 2 guys who are laying there dead, just walk in and join the match and pin one of them. I mean, it looked like it was a good spot. From what I saw, they were both literally down and out, half dead. He was coming in fresh and not injured at all, and he was getting ready to finish it off. And then he struggled right when he entered the match. He didn't really even. It looked like it was going to be a battle still. And then CM Punk came in, and okay, so So I get that. How about the fact I heard some criticism that this wastes the briefcase because usually it's very exciting to have a year worth of someone, which to me is kind of annoying. I think this was perfect. I think he
I
cashed
personally
it
don't like
and it
Money
got
in the
ruined.
Bank as it is. Like, I know some people like, well, it's a good way to get people over or get them kind of on the map, give them a run with the title. But, I mean, I don't think I've never liked it. I mean, for example, like, what has it really done for a lot of these guys that win it and like win the belt and then like they lose it? Like some of them lose it the next month, lose because they're not really made or they're not really supposed to be the champions. Like some of it really doesn't make a lot of sense. Like Damian Priest, I like, but I don't think he's really had a. Obviously, his run has been overshadowed by the fact that he's had to have matches with, Drew McIntyre. Now Seth Rollins, guys that are kind of semi-involved in this whole CM Punk thing. So nobody's really cares that he's the champion. So I don't think it even matters that he's champion or anything like that. So I would say, good, get rid of the briefcase. It's kind of worthless to me. It's one of my least favorite things that they do is somebody being able to cash in whatever a chance to win the title at any point, anytime. I've never really liked that whole idea. I know they've been doing it for the last more than a decade at least, right? But I've never really enjoyed it. It's like one of my least favorite things that they have going. I mean, it kind of cheapens your title. So I'm okay with that aspect. My only thing was just the slight logic of cashing in the same night you won it, when you during a triple and kind of making it a triple threat match. I don't know. I'm not really crazy on that. As far as CM Punk interfering, I mean, obviously I knew that was going to happen. Why? Because he's not going to let him win the title after he just beat his ass in his hometown. He left him laying in front of his home crowd.
As long as he was not incapacitated in the hospital, he was going to get involved in this.
Talking about his wife, his dog, the only two things he really cares about. Punk only cares about three things, okay? He cares about, four things. He cares about his wife, he cares about his dog, he cares about his money, and I think he cares about wrestling. So those four things. Other than that, I don't think he cares about anything else. So the fact that he's talking about his dog and his wife consistently and took that bracelet that has their names on it and whatnot was a big thing. But this feud is tremendous. This feud is definitely I'll give it 2 thumbs up despite my slight criticism of him cashing in because it's still so amazing. And then the post show, oh my God, perfect. Like almost perfection. Like I couldn't write it any better myself. I couldn't come up with anything better myself. This is as great as a feud as you could have, as they would have in the Attitude Era and when WCW was going hot. Like I'm kind of comparing this to kind of like a Bret Hart, Steve Austin feud, Randy Savage, DDP feud in the '97. If people remember that one. Some of us old heads that watched wrestling in the '90s specifically. That's what it reminds me of. It's got so much freaking heat. It's amazing. This is great stuff across the board. Tremendous. And they haven't even had a match. And I keep saying that they haven't even had a match, but the feud is red hot. Red hot.
Oh, so far, I was telling you, I think this is one of the best feuds I've ever seen in wrestling, ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yes.
It is so freaking
it's on par
good.
with anything. It's on par with anything I've ever seen. I agree.
That's crazy. Think about it in 2024, and the fact that we weren't even sure if we were going to get CM Punk returning to WWE, and they found the perfect feud for him. It's good that it keeps him away from the title. Because, they got other people who they want to be champion. CM Punk might be champion again someday. But for right now, this is so freaking perfect. So, yes. It can only go down from here because it's been freaking perfect. But I have a feeling that it could stay this good. Because these two guys are just so good. Because CM Punk is so smart as a wrestler. And Drew McIntyre also has been so freaking. One thing I wanted to compliment him on is you know how they usually say you can tell if someone's gonna lose or drop the title by the way they come out.
Oh yeah.
So the way
what do they call it? Job face or something?
Yeah, the way he came out though to cash in that Money in the Bank, I was like,
confident.
he's gonna win this for sure. Like, what an actor. I was like, this guy. I was like, oh, okay, so they're gonna give him the title here. The way he was like so simply handing it over, like, okay, so he's just gonna get a Claymore and a pin here and win this match. So the fact that he knew all this was gonna happen and he walked out there with a straight face was so good. So yeah, these two guys are really good, and I can't wait to see what happens in this feud.
But the thing with that is sometimes you know that you're a part of something so good. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure if they realize how good it is, but you would think they know that it's good. Like, it doesn't really even matter that if the title isn't. I mean, this is the angle that a lot of people are talking about. Like, this is a hot angle. I've not heard anyone say anything. I mean, I don't know. I don't read a lot of stuff on the wrestling websites or other podcasts too much, but I've never heard anyone say anything bad about this angle. I think so far, from what I've heard,
well, the only thing I saw today was the fact that some people are upset that they're not going to see the Money in the Bank cash in for a year.
Cares?
Well, they got Tiffany Stratton for that. They can They can watch.
Stop it. Cry me a river. Yes, that's a little that adds to the CM Punk stuff.
All right, well, let's talk about these are separate angles. I would consider these separate angles, but they are offshoots of this angle. They were involved in this match. Let's start with Damian Priest. So let's talk about the consequences of Damian Priest. You know, he remained champion of this. Like, it was kind of like a side thing. You know, Seth. It was more like Seth was pissed off that he wasn't involved in this decision, and we'll talk about Seth in a second. And then Drew was pissed off, and then there was also Damian, who was still the world champion somehow. So Damian's been involved in this whole angle with the rest of Judgment Day, specifically Finn Balor, and there's been drama with them about, you know, there's always been drama about Judgment Day, about them breaking up or having issues. And here was another one where Damian, if he put his spot in Judgment Day on the line for some reason in this match, and he didn't want Finn to get involved, right? So Finn was like pissed off at him because they were arguing about the whole Liv Morgan thing, and then on this past Monday, and then that led to them arguing about, you know, their place in Judgment Day and Damian not wanting Finn's help for this match, and even though he's putting his spot in Judgment Day on the line. Okay, so they have all this storyline that they're doing for the Judgment Day. Also, I guess I will mention that he didn't kick out on that one 3 count.
Yes.
Which we're not sure.
That has been discussed. That's true.
Yeah, so some people are saying that's not completely his fault, but whether it's his fault or not, you know, I don't know. But okay, so he's still the champion, though. You did mention during your whole diatribe about the Money in the Bank briefcase that you don't think he is completely a deserving champion. And okay, so let me get some thoughts from you on just the angle with him and Finn having issues.
Yeah.
So that happened at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. You know, they had that moment where he asked Finn not to get involved, and Finn looked at him and give him a you know, kind of like a stern, whatever you want, you know, okay. Yeah. But it looked like he was
something like, he said something like, you're the boss or something like that.
Yeah, it's ominous. This is basic wrestling tease, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm gonna give that a thumbs up just because I kind of like it, and I like the dynamic of, you know, Judgment Day isn't supposed to have a leader. Since the beginning they talked about how they're all equal. But Damian has been acting like he's the leader because he's the world champion and stuff, and Finn's obviously a little jealous of that. So, which is what Seth Rollins told him on Monday. So, okay, can I get a review from you about the angle, and then whatever comments you want to make about Damian and Finn and Judgment Day?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of this whole thing because they've teased it previously, like the breakup, and I previously said as well that I don't like this group, and I actually hope for Priest's sake that he does leave the group and as fast as possible, because it's actually only hindering him at this point. And the faster they can set up a feud with him and Finn or whoever he has to fight, most likely Finn, to kind of get himself clear of this group would be the best thing going for him in the future, if he wants to be kind of a main event talent. Because being in this group it's not doing nothing for him. It's being involved in this kind of those backstage cringy segments that they have in their clubhouse. Those are really bad segments.
And him scolding Dom about, being live.
Yeah. All that stuff is stupid, man. It's not very good, and I'm kind of getting tired of it. Their backstage segments really kill Raw a lot of the times for me. So, if you want me to review it, I'll give it like Orange Cassidy again, thumbs up, because it's not like the worst thing, but it's definitely not the best either. Oh, sorry.
Half a thumbs up again for the Judgment Day drama at Money in the Bank. Well, I was a little surprised that I thought Finn was going to get involved. Well, before the whole CM Punk thing that happened with Drew McIntyre, I thought the original thing that was going to happen was that Finn was going to get involved in this match because, hey, he was just going to make an executive decision as a member of Judgment Day.
And he was going to end up costing Priest somehow?
No, I thought he was going to come try to help him despite Priest saying, I don't want your help,
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I thought. I thought he was going to get involved and defy orders or defy the agreement that he made. And instead, the match passed and nothing happened. But there was a lot of other drama, so obviously they didn't want to clutter it, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but I was
been overbooked at that point, yeah.
Yeah, but heading into the match, I was thinking that that's what was going to be the run-in was going to be Finn Balor because he was involved with them in the promo on Monday and everything, which, I like this stuff. I'm giving it a thumbs up. I'm giving the Judgment Day drama a thumbs up, and I'm kind of not with you, man. I kind of like the Judgment Day. I think I want them to ride this drama, and I want them to come out the other side and say, you know what? After all we've been through, we're still together. We're still a team. We're still a family. I think that's what it's going to be. I think
you're still having some sort of PTSD when the original NWO broke up. Maybe you just want groups to stick together and stay a family. Baby. I think that's what it is.
I think they're a cool looking group. I mean, with Rhea and Damian are really cool looking. And, Dom is pretty funny that every girl for some reason wants him. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
and Finn I just like Finn Balor. I like how he talks and everything. And I think he's a good character. JD, to me, JD and Carlito or whatever. But I don't mind Judgment Day like you. And I don't think it holds Damian Priest back. I don't know. I think the whole... And then the 3 count...
I disagree with that. But yes, I'll continue.
That's all I had to say about that. But I will talk about that 3 count that he didn't kick out and it looked awful. But from what I heard, Drew McIntyre's music was supposed to hit, and the referee was supposed to look up and go, oh. And so I guess that's why he just stayed there. But
I see. So it was supposed to be. So it wasn't really all his fault. I said, well, that makes some sense. Then in that case, it's not his fault. It was just they had to mess up the timing, I guess.
Yeah. But, that's really interesting, too, because the old Vince McMahon rule was that if somebody messes up, just count the 3, and we'll book it later. We'll change the booking. But if you counted the 3, then they wouldn't have had the chance for Drew McIntyre to cash in and CM Punk. So that referee made like a crazy decision in that one split second to not count that 3 and let the match continue. So
right. Then they couldn't have gone. I don't think they could have gone forward with the CM Punk part of the angle and the Drew's part of the angle in that case, right?
So I guess I'm not really saying that Damian should get all the blame for that. Although it was
I didn't hear that. But if that's true, then it's not his fault. No.
Yeah, but other than that, about Damian and his performance overall, I think he's been good. I think he's been good at showing up and on his promos acting like he belongs, and
sometimes.
So that's all I got to say about that. Okay, and then the other offshoot of this was the Seth Rollins thing, because for some reason he had a stipulation. He agreed to a stipulation where he will not get his rematch against Damian if he loses. So he didn't win, so he's not going to get a rematch. Although he wasn't involved in it at all, and then Drew McIntyre came in, and CM Punk left Drew McIntyre for Damian to pin easily while Seth was nowhere to be seen. And then Seth went to CM Punk pissed off. Kayfabe-wise, like in the story, do you think that makes sense? By the way, that Seth is mad at Punk for this? Like, what could Punk have done? Punk had to get involved in this and stop Drew from winning. What should he have done? Like, let them all fight fair and make sure that this ends up being a fair fight. Like, he didn't have time to think about Seth Rollins here. You know?
Yeah, I guess Seth. I guess the only thing he could have done is make sure that Seth is the winner and not Damian. But why should he
doesn't like Seth either? Yeah, they don't like each other either. Why should he help out Seth?
Who cares about Seth? No, but the thing is, I'm a fan of Seth Rollins as far as the worker, the character. I think all of us across the board that kind of that do this podcast say that we really hate the Messiah, whatever is his whole character. It's not the Messiah, but what does he call himself? The
Monday Night Rollins.
Well, yeah, no, I know he says that, but he says a whole bunch of other stuff.
The visionary.
The visionary, yeah, all that crap that he says.
I don't know, yeah. But okay, well, can you grade the angle, though? I know you don't like Rollins, but okay, the angle is Seth Rollins being pissed off at Punk post-match.
Oh, that, I'm indifferent because I don't care if Seth Rollins is pissed off or not. Because I appreciate everything that he did for that WrestleMania. I thought he was like that, but I was kind of happy though after that he hasn't been involved in a lot of this stuff. To be honest with you, like I said, if he wants to do this kind of dumb gimmick that he's doing, that's his business. But I was kind of happy that he was actually out injured for a little while. It was good to kind of not hear his cackling voice and that stupid music that the fans consistently sing along to. So. I'm gonna say no stars. Don't care.
No thumbs up. Indifferent.
Indifferent. To the side. That's indifferent. Yes, indifferent.
Yes, that's our indifferent. Okay, I got you. I think it's good. I think it's good long-term storytelling because obviously Punk and Seth Rollins are gonna fight at some point. So yes. He cost him his opportunity to challenge again for the title, and he's mad about it. And he yelled at Punk. I just don't think it really made sense. I just think it was just a disappointing thing that happened. This would have been a completely different match, by the way, if this match was on before the men's Money in the Bank match. Like the fact that the men's Money in the Bank match was first and there was a briefcase hanging over this match completely changed the match.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So, all right. So that's the Seth Rollins aspect of it. All right, I'm done. Those are basically the main topics I want to talk about. I could give you some quick hitters, some rapid reviews if you want to do. How about Sami Zayn beating Braun Breaker clean? Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah, good match. Don't quite understand the booking completely. They could have given Braun some way out, maybe somehow. If he was gonna lose, that's fine. But it's pretty much lost clean.
I give that a thumbs down, man. That sucks for fucking Braun Breaker.
I don't quite understand.
He lost clean. He was gonna spear Sami Zayn, and then Sami Zayn countered it with just a kick to the face, and then hit him with the Haluva kick, and then that's it.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that because they were making him look like a monster for like these past month. I mean, I don't mind him losing exactly. He doesn't have to win the title, but maybe they could have given him some sort of out. Like maybe again, Sheamus would have gotten involved somehow.
Yeah.
Or
so is this a thumbs down? It's a thumbs down for me. Thumbs down.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning in your direction. I could be swayed to just give it like a 0 type of, the indifferent, but I think...
where could they go? Like, where could this be a positive? How could they save this for Braun? What could he do?
It's a great question. I don't
Is he going to get pissed off now and go crazy again on Raw and start spearing everyone? He's lost his credibility now. He can't even beat Sami Zayn.
Well, okay, but Sami Zayn is legit. Like, he is not, like, just someone to...
Yeah, I agree with that.
But at the same time, like, I don't really understand the booking for... So, okay, I'll give it a thumbs down. Fine, I'll go with you. I'll go with you on this one. You kind of convinced me. Because I was debating between that and just indifferent, but you're right. Since I can't make sense of it completely, thumbs down.
All right, how about the Tiffany Stratton winning that wild Money in the Bank match with all the violence and everyone taking bumps? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there were so many crazy bumps, and Man,
Is that a thumbs down for you or a thumbs up? Or did that entertain you?
yeah. Well, I'll give it the match itself. You know, a lot of crazy spots. Chelsea Green spot specifically. My God.
Yeah,
Chelsea
she was
Green,
really funny that match. She was really cool.
Chelsea Green is doing some tremendous underrated work. Not enough credit is given to her for her trying to get her gimmick over, her character over. I'll give it like an Orange Cassidy thumbs up. I don't really love
the match was a little disjointed. I thought it kind of stopped. There was a lot of stop and go. It wasn't really flowing that good. But the crazy spots
were crazy.
You know, I don't know if that's like a thumbs up thing. Just that all these girls got freaking mangled and stuff.
They looked like they were pretty damaging spots. And
yeah, Lyra Valkyria, Zoe, Io Sky, they were all taking these crazy things. So, okay,
yeah,
the last thing.
Sure. Yeah, but
sorry,
okay, Tiffany winning. Okay, I'm okay with it. Tiffany winning is fine.
Yeah, it was hard for me to figure out who was going to win. I thought it could be Naomi because of her relation to The Rock. But, okay, yeah, that was the only girl that I also thought Chelsea was an outside chance because she's just been good. But, okay, Tiffany, I don't mind that either. I don't think that's bad. I think she deserves it. She deserves it. All right, last one. How about Britt Baker's emotional return that was cut off by the disrespectful Mercedes Moné, who celebrated her title victory during Britt Baker's emotional speech about how she's what the fuck?
Yeah.
She was hurt or something. She was having.
She basically
had a stroke, right? That was she said. Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, how could someone that seems to be in great physical shape?
What's with all these AEW wrestlers who are almost dying? Like who was the other one who like
did somebody else almost die?
There was someone else. Well, Adam Cole was having like seizures and stuff, and
that's right.
Both of them. Yeah, they're all having these violent hardcore matches.
If it has to do
thinking
with,
they're hardcore.
I wonder if it has to do with the like specific head injuries or bumps that they're taking. Because otherwise, I don't understand why somebody that young and that fit would have that type of. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I don't understand these things. But yes, it was interesting to hear, and of course, you feel terrible for that someone had to go through that. And that makes you explain to me why she hasn't been around, because I was starting to question, like, what is going on? Like, why isn't she coming back? She's been gone almost over a year, or about a year. I'm like, what is happening? As far as the angle, well, you know, I think it has potential to be good because these are two legit, right, women wrestlers. We're always questioning AW's women's wrestling, like the whole division. These two could actually put on some, you know, a good match. I mean, they were like, I don't know. The promo was kind of a little like, okay, they just.
I thought it was fun, man. The way they were talking, the way they call each other bitch, and then she called her a bitch. It was really funny. I thought.
Let me tell you something, bitch. I was like, okay, we get it. We get it. But yes,
but yeah, funny. I thought Mercedes looked like a bitch, honestly, which was good because that's like the best use of her so far. Like she came in all arrogant.
But to be fair to Mercedes, I can't believe I'm going to say this because, yes, you're right. Mercedes has been pretty much a heel, acting like a heel pretty much since, but they tried to make her a babyface, which doesn't make sense. But in her defense, didn't like after Mercedes won that match at Forbidden Door, Britt Baker came out to kind of steal her spotlight. So I kind of see her.
She disrespected her first. You're saying?
I thought
why
so.
This made sense.
Yes, to me actually that does make sense for her to come out then. But yes, it was an emotional promo, of course, because it was a real thing, talking about how she, I guess, could have died, or at the very least had something very severe happen to her. Yeah, I thought, you know what? I think this could be good. I give that a thumbs up.
I give that segment a thumbs up, and I like
potentially it could be good.
Once Mercedes got involved, nothing against Britt's emotional speech about her being, hurt and all that. It was emotional. It was a little, I don't know, long, but once Mercedes got in there, and then it became wrestling, and I enjoyed that. I actually really enjoyed that finally. Enjoyed some wrestling this week.
Well, I did kind of like them calling each other bitches back and forth. I laughed at that part for sure. I just thought that was hilarious. But yes, potentially there's something good there. Let's just see what happens.
All right, well, we covered basically everything that I think was worth talking about from the past 7 days of wrestling. The only other thing maybe that's worth mentioning is Liv Morgan again, that Dominic Mysterio storyline has been a hot one, I guess, for the internet. Everyone loves seeing, them. What weird sexual position are they going to end up in
what
this
weird
week?
positions can they fall on each other on this week? That makes it look like that they're banging. But no, I don't know.
But overall, it's not really progressing. I think it's the same thing each week now, and we're just waiting to see when Rhea comes back.
I think when you asked me my opinions on I think I said okay, I'm giving it a thumbs up, but they're kind of got to go somewhere with this because it's just getting annoying.
On your last review of Raw from 2 weeks ago, that's what you said. Like, all right,
and I stand by that. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see.
This past Monday, her pursuit of the incredibly handsome Dominic Mysterio was given a setback because she cost him his match this week. She tried to help him against Ray, and then she accidentally knocked Dominic off the ropes. So,
but he accidentally helped her win. Right.
Yeah.
Right in her match
that keeps happening too. He keeps trying to get the world title off her, but he keeps helping her by accident. So,
which makes me think that this guy is just a dope at this point.
But you know what? I will say I like some smut in my wrestling. Personally, I know the whole world turned a little politically correct. Yeah. And, we can't really do terribly raunchy things anymore. This is probably the limit of the raunch that we can get. And I like it. I like a little bit of raunch in my wrestling, man. You gotta have some of that. So that's why I'm giving it a thumbs up still. Although,
I mean, I think there's room for it. I just think it has to go somewhere. Right now we're just kind of stuck in the same thing. But you're right. I don't mind it, and especially in the beginning. But now I just want to see how it progress a bit. Maybe they can at least bring Rhea back to at least be a backstage presence of some sort. She doesn't have to wrestle yet if she's not ready, but can she at least appear on camera? I think that would actually help this angle along, I think.
All right. Well, that's it, Vlad. I guess Robert had an emergency or whatever happened to him. He didn't appear this week, unfortunately. We're apologize to our fans, but listen.
Who really wanted to see the Frozen Asian and give his opinions on all these important wrestling matters.
Yes, we'll try to get hopefully some reviews from him off text messages. I'll send him some angles to review. So watch out for our community posts on YouTube. If you subscribe, it might show up in your feed sometimes, some of our reviews. That's how we're going to review all the other angles that we didn't discuss on the show. So keep an eye out for that. That will make us the most comprehensive wrestling podcast on the internet, because we will review every angle from Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, and any pay-per-view or premium live event. So we will at least give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down in the posts, and the most important ones we'll talk about on our podcast. So that's it for this week. Please subscribe. We're glad to be back. It was a nice 2 weeks off. It's good to be back. Yeah, it was a nice 2 weeks off. I had a nice vacation, but you know what? This is where I belong. I belong at the Malapert Smark Podcast talking about fucking wrestling, because wrestling is the most important thing on this goddamn planet. Everyone asks me, when is your new show coming out where you talk about other things, which I am planning, but I'm dreading it. I don't really want to do it. I'll just do it because people want me to do it. But what I want to do...
it's hard to find the time. I mean, you just mentioned yourself. You barely have the time for this one. I don't know how you're going to do another one, but,
Yeah, that's true. But more importantly, I don't really want to talk about anything else. All I want to talk about is fucking wrestling, dude. It's all I care about. I swear. Well, I love it, man. I think it's fun. I think it's so fun. I don't know. Everything else is just okay.
I wouldn't have agreed with you maybe a couple of years back, but I think with the success
The
WWE's currently having.
WWE's revival, yeah. The
Yeah,
WWE Triple H has actually been really good.
Yeah, it's helped matters for sure. Yeah.
All right, and MJF turning heel. Don't forget about that.
I'm waiting to see what he can do.
All right, and also we're gonna bring back our series, our Malapert Smark series of the following WCW after Hogan turned heel.
Oh man,
in
yes.
1996. We will be bringing that soon, hopefully next week. So stay tuned for that. And subscribe. Tell all your friends to subscribe who wants wrestling shows. This show is going up just the way it is. No editing. I'm just going to post it right now. So look out for our shows on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on social media, on X, on Instagram. I'm posting pictures on Instagram. I'm posting posts, reviews on X for more angles that we haven't got to here. So follow us, man. The Malapert Smark Podcast is the most comprehensive wrestling podcast. Therefore, it is the best wrestling podcast on this fucking planet.
You tell him, man.
But I love Jim Cornette, but he doesn't try sometimes. Sometimes he doesn't even watch the show. He'll just say in the middle of his review, and then I stopped watching and I said, fuck it. What happened, Brian? That's not us.
and you know Brian doesn't know.
So we are the most comprehensive podcast. We are the best wrestling podcast, and we will cover every wrestling topic. If you subscribe, we will get to it eventually. The show will be here forever. This show will not die. All right, then. Thank you, Vlad. Have a good night. We'll see you next time.
You too, man.